Hello and welcome to another jungle coaching. In this one we have a diamond level Kha'Zix player with about 435,000 points, and then we have an Ekko as well. Now in this video we're not going to look at, your typical fiestas that you might expect in diamond or platinum, but most people say, well look, my goal is to get to diamond, to get to the top 2%, 1.5% or whatever, and then if I have the time and the dedication, then I'm going to go to Mercer tier. The problem is then you have the Mercer tier plus, and of course Grand Mercer Challenger looking down on the diamond and kind of, verbally berating them, and it kind of has this whole thing of everyone kind of clashing against diamond, and sometimes rightly so, because you need to understand how to jungle in your elo, but at the same time, with diamond junglers, your inaction, even though you don't feed stupidly, can cost you games, and the jungler with the best proactive decision making will be the one who wins. Now, if you want coaching that's directly relevant to your elo, these guides should help you. Virkayu.gg's comprehensive courses will give you all of the up-to-date information you need to climb on your MMR. This is all in addition to our powerful one-on-one coaching and access to the coaching VOD library. Sign up today and get a 20% discount that goes until the end of January. Take your potential and convert it into reality. And at the same time, you have to pay attention, of course, to what the meta is. So we look at this right now and you're like, okay, what do I see? Where did the Ekko start? I have a ward here. I know the Ekko didn't start here. The Ekko knows that it's warded, so he knows that I know that, the Ekko knows that the Kha'Zix knows where he started or didn't start in this particular case. But we are very much talking about, and I put this up in shorts on my main channel, Red Raptors Krugs. When your bottom lane has Prio, Xayah, Lux versus Caitlyn Karma, well, you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. This, I fully expect to be just pure pilot issue. I don't care about the theory of bottom lane. Sometimes you can kind of go, oh, look, range versus melee, and by extension, just, they have that pressure point. But in this particular case, I've seen Karma Caitlyn's destroy Xayah Lux's. Obviously, Xayah is a better late game champion, and Caitlyn should always have sort of some sort of lane prior. But at the same time, because we have here Lux versus Xayah not leashing, and the Caitlyn and Karma actually leashing, they will have this ability to create a sort of pressure point into the bottom lane, which means, wait a second, that means that this guy's going to just go, oh, of course, right? So the Kha'Zix should probably have said, oh, look, my bottom lane didn't leash. They're going to push Prio to Prio. The enemy bottom lane had to leash, so thus they're going to be pushed in a little bit. And the meta is 3 camping red side and bottom lane ganking. Going to be even more so like that in the next patch, which is coming, should be at the end of the week. But as we can see, they hit 2 basically in unison. Ekko says, hey, can I show up perfectly and snack myself a kill? Or 2, and it's exactly what he does. Now the Kha'Zix, what was your counter gank opportunity here? Reading the scenario, it would have been Red Raptors, Gromp, Shadow, get down here, make a play. And that's something you have to be able to do once you get into diamond. You have to be able to compromise your game plan based upon the meta, based upon what happens. Now instead of just farming and full sequencing, we are going to go and chase into a cannon wave, so we have to go wide to avoid aggro, and look for the Caitlyn. Can we pick something up? We're going to E into the bush here. She still has flash. We hit, heal, baby. Now, we did bump both sums, which is great, but if you were to basically say, look, I'm full clearing down, I don't care about this counter gank, and I see this potential down here, and Caitlyn doesn't use any of her sums, would you sort of guarantee yourself a kill by going down there, even with both sums up? I don't know if guarantee is a strong word, right? Like, I still have an opportunity to maybe get a kill, but because she has both sums, and I don't have CC, it's definitely more difficult. Now, if you are a Maokai, for example, and for whatever reason you did the same clears as Kha'Zix and you got onto the Caitlyn, she dies, right? She dies, you have the CC, you have the knockback, you have the damage. Kha'Zix just doesn't have those things, and obviously he uses his E up front because he didn't track the fact that she has a flash in her heal up. So now she doesn't have sums, but as we can see here, the Ekko out of base, Gwen, diamond level stuff, right? Please, guys, laners, look, you want Mercer tier, you want high elo as a top laner? Think a little bit. So let's actually rewind it and look at it from the Ekko's perspective. Obviously, we know he got kills here and he's going back to base. He's now going to float to the top side. Look at this. He's literally going for his wolves right now. He's going wolves blue. He doesn't even skip the blue. We can see obviously this wave is Giga crashing. But what should you know is the Ekko in this particular moment? Oh, I have a blasting wand and a dark seal. If you cannot take 40 AP, right, plus your dark seal's 50 in AP, that's 55 extra AP, my friends, and just go straight for this, I don't know what to tell you. The Gwen has no sums. The Gwen is not in a position to do anything, and the Gwen here also goes down to ward and clear and so on, and ends up getting killed anyway. So the Ekko gets bailed out by the ineptitude, woo, a little closer to the Xante, gets bailed out by the ineptitude of the Gwen. And in this regard, the Kha'Zix felt he was really, he felt like he had to go to the bottom lane. Caitlyn super low, you have to take the chance to try and get kills, but he didn't track the summoner usage of that bottom lane skirmish. So he had no idea what was all up. So he had to make a decision basically saying, look, I hope I can grab the kill here. If not, I'm going to lose a lot of tempo in terms of clear speed. The Ekko doesn't go straight here thinking the wave, but I mean, like, you know, you have 55 AP, she had nothing. I'm pretty sure we could have killed her and the wave doesn't really matter at all, right? Hopefully we're all in agreement with that. I know Ekko, I'm going for that because I know I can get away with it, right? Especially if she has no sums. However, she moves down, she doesn't track the Ekko going up, which she should have, but she didn't. Top laners, please, it's not that difficult. So right here, as you're the Kha'Zix, you're doing the Grump, you're doing the Wolves, you're going, well, yes, I'm behind on tempo. But just watch this, right? The Ekko showed top lane with 22 CS because he did his 5 camps as 20 CS, and he took 2 CS in the bottom lane here. Now he leaves here with 24. He's going to finish this off. That'll be 25. And then he's going to go and do this top side scuttle. So that should be, for those of you who are smart mathematically, 29. However, because we know the numbers of jungling, the Ekko should know the numbers of jungling, the Kha'Zix, basically at this stage, would have shown in the bottom lane, right? And if you're a diamond, you should be tracking this. This is how you go to the next level. Consistent tracking, and you should be able to dominate any diamond jungler. Very, very easily, in fact. I mean, mechanically, they can be better, but they give a lot of tells. So basically here he shows with the red, he shows with 12 CS, so we know he did red Crocs Raptors, and most likely, right, at this point, I don't think anyone's thinking a Kha'Zix is showing up this late if he did red Raptors Gromp. It's very, very unlikely that he shows up this late to this rotation with that kind of flexi clear. 99% he did the red Quadranessa all the way down across. Now that means that we know that, you know, you've got your 420 Krugs-ish, you've got your 435 to 445 Raptors-ish. So as he floats down to this, you look at the time, you're like, all right, if Kha'Zix now goes to his blue side and decides to keep on sequencing, I can meet him here and fist him over this because I've got mid-prio. However, the Victor is obviously a little bit in this particular regard, but hey, if I have 55 AP as Ekko, and I know the Kha'Zix might be staying out a little bit longer, these are great opportunities rather than floating back to your Grump, which is a little bit boring. So you have to now get your mind into the enemy jungler and look for those kinds of things. Let's actually see what he does do. No, he's actually just going to go straight back to base with 1,000 gold without even finishing the Grump, which will now remain at level 1. So this for me is... Did he just walk through that as well? Are we watching this correctly? Did he just walk through that or not? In the gold level coaching, what did I say? What did I say? What did I say in every coaching? Guys, you have to anticipate that this is warded. Also, by the way, just by the way, okay, you have to understand that if you miss the information of someone showing up with a control ward in lane by pressing tab, and then they disappear and come back, and then you press tab again, and there's no control ward, they must have placed it somewhere magical. Now, if it was the Victor, in this case, you know, he's most likely put it somewhere in this arena. And especially if you see him place it down, okay, straight up, then you know it's being placed by him. If it's potentially the support because the Victor hasn't left the lane, then you basically are totally ignorant, right? Because you'll have no idea that the Karma came out of base with a control ward. Let's just say for argument's sake, we have no idea. We missed the Victor if he did buy it. We have no idea if the Karma bought it or not. Basically, it's a coin flip. What is the best way to approach ganking in that regard? Yanking, pathing, discipline. Assume it is warded, thus you can be undetected if it is, and if it isn't, no downside whatsoever. So, nice and tight, okay? This, into this, touch the wall, softly skirt your shoulder against it, feel the graze of the dragon pit. As you hit the grass, now you can say, yes, I finally touched grass, and then cut into this to have a nice tight angle, fog of war gap, and then hook the corner and say, Victor, I arrive, because you have no mana. And you might have flash, but you know, who cares? Maybe we can do something. Obviously, in this particular case, I don't think there is much we can do. Maybe we can burn the flash, but I don't think we'll get him into kill threat. The point is, he is seen. He is seen, so the Victor can play around it, and he decides to give himself some spacing here. The Kha'Zix goes in, doesn't really do anything. The Victor's like, you know what? You have no kill threat because I saw you. I'm gonna just hold my flash. Now, sometimes I do get trolled. We've lost vision. There we go. Sometimes I do get trolled by the sums. So don't get trolled by the sums, okay? Because the frames kind of don't really show you when things are up or not, especially when you jump around with time zones in the game. So always you need to click it and then look on the bottom left, and that'll be accurate in terms of, you know, what sums a champion has when you're looking at replays. So kind of ignore that small little tidbit. Now again, this is going both ways. The Ekko's like, well, Kha'Zix just came from here. There's no ways anyone warded that, right? I'm just going to go and invade his jungle. Why? Why? As soon as he goes mid lane here, you press tab and you're like, well, damn, dude has a 28 CS, numbers of jungling. That's a full clear plus bottom lane crab. And he hasn't spent any cash monies, which means he's going for second Raptor's second Krugs. So both junglers absolutely shitting the bed with their tracking. No ability to control the enemy jungler whatsoever. No ability to think dynamically about having some sort of action on the game. And it causes you to stay diamond. This is it. This is what keeps you diamond, my friends. If you are master tier, consistently, the Ekko here, look, realizing the Kha'Zix shows with an attempt. He goes back and I know he's gone back into here. So he can either go back to base afterwards, look to gank mid lane, look to gank bot lane, or he can carry on sequencing. I know that this is going to be up because he did Red Crux Raptors, so I'm just going to go and take it and fight him over it. He's not going to win. He shouldn't win whatsoever. If you have 55 AP in your pocket and you lose to an unpurchased item jungler, whatever it is, no, mechanical skill issue. And then both junglers just ignore it. Like, why are we going here? We know these camps are down. So what we have here is inability to adapt his game plan to the meta, inability to adapt his game plan to the fact that his bottom lane didn't leash, their bottom lane did, and the meta is about ganking set pushing bottom lanes level 2. And of course you're trusting your bottom lane to kind of understand this, but they never do, right? They never do. That's why I said you never play the theoretical matchup. Only watch what's happening and anticipate the worst of your bottom lane, I think. You know, as someone who plays support, I understand this concept, but I typically play very well around my jungler, obviously, because I'm a jungler as well. But, you know, I realize that a jungler doesn't know that in lobby, so I earn their respect by getting prior for crabs, paying attention to tracking, avoiding obvious ganks. And all I expect in return is some counter ganks, some pressure some pressure in the lane, some dives. You know, it never happens, but one can hope, right? So now, basically, what's happened is we saw the Ekko go here, then we saw the Ekko go here, and we would have seen that very, very nice sort of like CS threshold, the 39th CS threshold, okay? Which means we know, sorry, 29, not 39, because he was 25 leaving this, 29 here. He had certain itemization. He goes back to base, runs through this ward here, still with 29 CS, okay, because we know he took the top scuttle then, and more itemization, so we know he based with like 1,000 gold. What's the Kha'Zix gonna expect the Ekko finds when he walks through this ward here earlier and goes into the jungle? Nothing. So he just goes, sucker, and then the Ekko goes, well, great, there's nothing. Where is he? I mean, it's so easy when you look at it in VOD, and it should be easy in-game at this level. It really should be something that I expect every Diamond Jungler to be able to do. I'm releasing my Jungle Improvement PDF, hopefully tomorrow in the email. It includes a lot of tracking tips in terms of how to increase your tracking to this level. So obviously the Ekko basically then project yourself if you're Kha'Zix. What's he gonna do? Boom. Up to the top lane again, because now I know he's most likely got Wolves or Grump up. We don't know which one it is. I would logically assume Wolves, actually. Did you guys follow where I'm going with this? Let me jump back in time. Because the Ekko shows up here, right, with an additional 8 CS. So did he take this and the blue? He definitely took the blue, because we can see the blue. Did he take the Scuttle and the blue, or did he take one camp and the blue and rotate to the top lane? I would hope at this level that they took one camp, right? Like one Grump and one Wolf camp. And I would assume it is the Grump because it's the highest value. And of course, we want the respawn of the Juicy Toad. But yeah, he took the Wolves. So basically what happens is then, now our bottom lane are left to their own devices. We're thinking, all right, we've taken our top side camps, we have to go to the bottom side. We've got this respawning, this respawning. The Ekko might potentially do this. So both junglers are not playing each other mindfully. They both expect each other to be bottom lane, I think. One hopes. Blue team bottom lane goes in. Ekko should show up in the bush for the lane gank here. We're repositioning. We know there's no sums. We see the karma here. We're going to go in and grab ourselves a kill. We see the Ekko as well. He's going to actually yeet himself in with that E. So basically, well done by the Kha'Zix, recognizing outside in rule, I can leave the base. They're fighting their low. I can do something about this. Good action to compensate for 6 to 7 minutes of total inaction. Right? He tried a few things. You know, we can agree that this was a valiant attempt. Sure, you want to try it. A better clear would have gotten him this kill, because he would have been there sooner. But the Ekko again, a little bit of a counter gank, that's what he's good at, and now we're going to fall back into this side. Now the Ekko has a timers in this, so knows this is exactly what's going to happen. This red also respawns globally, so we can time it, and obviously we have the RNG Scuttle on the bottom side, so Ekko knows he has to give that up. So the mind games keep going. And what you're going to find is that a lot of junglers don't think like this. I think like this because I realize that when I have winning lanes, if I can remove the enemy jungler, they can keep winning, and I can help them and snowball it even further. If my lanes are losing, then basically I can remove the enemy jungler so that they can't make it worse, and I can make it better. Right? Dr. Jungler shows up. In this particular case, the Gwen is basically victim of her own demise, but the Ekko could have easily punished it sooner, and I honestly think a lot of that early game planning is an issue, but our lack of tracking and punishment rather, is really the reason why Diamond Junglers just don't get the better of each other. And a lot of the time what you'll see is long games with weird KDAs, low kill participation, mediocre damage as they fall back to farming. It's not a farming meta. Can you be a farming jungler with a lot of ganking? Yes, I put that on the main channel. Yes, you can do that with 100%, but you need the right champion and the right itemization. Here, we're not going for any sort of farming Tiamat Ravenous builds, obviously, since the nerfs, and now we're going to have even more nerfs coming this week. So we'll just assume a straight up lethality. I mean, he's just walking through the vision. He doesn't care, which is kind of easy. But when you see that, and he doesn't show bottom lane, right, do some calculations in your head. What's he doing? Most likely doing the dragon. So the Kha'Zix is going to do is say, right, now, okay, my bottom lane does stuff. Cool, sweet. Ekko takes this. Karma's rotating over this. Cool, sweet. They might be going mid lane. Cool, sweet. Let me go ahead and snack this very, very quickly. But what if they shadow behind and try and collapse on us? Gwen actually realizes this and says, hey, let me help you. Ekko actually kills the Akali with the Victor as expected. Obviously, Akali missed this as well. And we now are just going to reposition. If I'm the Ekko, right, with this lead, I know I have a lead mathematically, I'm going to hit this. Get in his face. So this is the next level, right? Get into their face when you have the lead in your snowballing jungle. It's an assassin. Rengar's, Kha'Zix's, things like this, sure, they can snowball and come back, but if you choose the right fights, and the right sort of counter jungling tempo, and the right itemization spikes, because it's not about the full items right now, it's about how much gold you have spent. And of course, Ekko is a juicy, good champion. What does he actually do? He says, all right, oh well, I mean, Victor's going back to basic Akali's dead, Gwen is Prio, but I'm Ekko. So I'd like to play a little bit more aggressive here, just to let him know. I mean, you don't have to go for it. Or you can just hit the punt and say, I see you, that's it. Mind games, right? You don't have to go make the interplay. Just because you see them doesn't mean you have to go kill them. You can just have a look. Now, we do know most likely he's going to fall back to this, so we hit this up to see if he's going to show up. Let's see if he does. RNG Scuttle topside as well. We're kind of shadowing here a little bit. 3-6 to 3-5. Pretty close. The Kha'Zix could now loop back around here, but if he hasn't shown by this stage, if you're the Ekko, we can see on the scoreboard he's gone back to base to reset, obviously, because once you've got Prowlers, a full item, and you're behind, that's good, right? Because now we can go camp the lane that we want to camp. But from the Ekko's perspective, you're going, okay, fine. He hasn't shown up here, most likely he's gone back to base. But at the same time, right, we're what, 1200? We're going to shadow this mid lane here. Maybe we can go again. Obviously, at this point, you don't know if it's warded or not if you haven't scanned. That's the downside. Now we're just going to walk into the bush here. We see, actually, a nice, juicy fight right over here. And Caitlyn is repositioning. Kha'Zix shows up on the deep vision. There you go, right? So this is interesting by the Ekko here. Now he's going to use his pressure. See, this is what we're going to call eyes up jungling. Something I kind of, you know, we know it as F key usage. We know it as clicking on the minimap. But what I termed as eyes up jungling is just a simple concept. If you kind of phrase it that self in your mind, like just say eyes up jungling as a mantra, you're going to see a lot of things change, because what did the Ekko see in this particular case over here that allows him to make this good play? What could you have done here normally? Okay, sure, we could have hit this, tracked him, seen him, and said, fine, I'm going to go back to this side. I've got the scuttle here. I can shadow this gank here. I can do this. I can do this. But if we know that the Kha'Zix was sequencing up, took the Herald, yeeted himself out, took the Krugs, with only a Dirk, we know he's going to go back to base and to buy. Get that Prowler's Claw, right? So what's he going to do if he was last seen top side, doesn't want to 2v2 us on the top side, which of course he shouldn't want to do, he's going to go bottom. So the Ekko does is say, okay, well look, we've just killed the Akali. I'm going to go back to base here, right? I have itemization purchases, but then we see our bot lane as the Ekko go deep, right? We know the Ekko is going to show up on the bottom side. We see the Akali start to move. So we say, okay, look, we have a possibility here for a play. The Akali gets cut off because of the Ekko showing up, because we get to push for crash. The Ekko shows up in the Kha'Zix shows up in deep vision, thanks to the blue team. And the Kha'Zix now should, in his mind, go, they were just here. I just saw the Ekko cut across mid lane with Victor. What's going to happen? And that's why control wood in your cash pocket is huge. Now, if we can't afford one, we can't afford one because the itemization completion, completion and purchase is more important. I do like my control boards, but don't not complete the Prowler's Claw, just have a control board just to clear this. And we have Herald, so we can't clear the vision ourselves. A bottom laner down here, we might just have to simply give this up. That's a reality of the situation. And it really does suck to be in the situation, but we're in the situation because of how we jungled in the previous 9 minutes. And it's all an extension of that. And the Ekko, to his credit, you know, enemy junglers, enemy mid, they're allowed to make plays, guys. They're allowed to make plays. You know, it's a thing. I'd much rather give up my blue and just take my wolf camp and kind of keep an eye on the situation, because what do we see? We see this, right? So we will see them go in and out. The control ward means we'll see them go in and out. So we can always take this and then kind of ping for assistance. Guys, they're taking my blue, they're taking my grump. We'll give the blue up, but if everyone rotates, you know, maybe we can actually get the kill. And then I get the grump, and then we can use a herald, yada yada, etc. In the meantime, yeah, that's about typical, I think. We can all expect that, I think. Of course, the Ekko shows up here with the blue, so most likely he's going back to base. Can anyone get there within 8 seconds? No. No. So he's going to go back to base, and the Kha'Zix can basically go, well, free Grump, free Wolves, free Raptors. And then I can think about maybe using a Herald with a little bit of a hook. But he decides, no, sequencing is bad. And you know what's interesting about this as well? Is that this sucker's still level 1. So the Eyes of Jungling approach, as we covered, can lead you to look up, see another place, see another place, see another place, see another place, take you away from your sequencing in your camps. That's why when you have the opportunity to take them, you must, right? Same thing here. We're basically like, okay, I'm leaving base. I'm going to go to my red side quadrant. Is there a gank I can make before I farm? Yes. Okay, I'm going to make the gank. I'm going to try, and then I'm going to fall back to my camps afterwards. Outside in rule. If there is no gank available, then what I can do is just farm my camps, wait for a better time, and then go for the gank. Kha'Zix shows up in the bottom lane here, plus 4 CS over the last time we saw him. Both junglers look at each other. Okay. Knowledge. Shadowing. Here we go. We're going to use our ult. I mean, do we have that? We're going to use a Prowler's Claw. Do we even have the damage? I don't think, yeah, I was going to say, like, do we have the damage for this play? This is always a good measuring stick for an assassin jungler. We know Ekko's down here, guys. We know Ekko's down here. We know Ekko's down here. You should know Ekko is down here. Now, we do end up getting the kill, but we also die. And Ekko gets 2, and he's a snowballing jungler. So as a snowballing jungler, 1 kill for me, 1 kill for you. I use the gold better. 2 kills for me, 1 kill for you. Great, because again, I use the gold better and I got more of it. But Ekko is the same, so it doesn't work out the way you think. We saw this. We saw him go here, right? Again, he goes. We see him with the blue. We press tab. Say we see 60 CS, for example. Then we see him back here with Rocket Ball completed, still 60 CS. He's taking no camps, but he's on the bottom side. So he must be falling back to his red camps, right? An extension, a projection, right, of what he might be doing. If he doesn't do it, we'll reconcile that. But this is what we anticipate. So we go for this gank. We know the Ekko is coming, so the overcommit cannot be done. The overcommit is the issue. Trying to go and burning sums is great, right? Fall back, but don't overcommit because you know they're giving the Ekko prime real estate. And again, I was just leaving base. His own econ is off the map here. Do we have... I was going to say, do we have scan? And then I realized, no, because we still have the Herald. It looks like he actually was going to scan, maybe, or maybe that's intentional. The Ekko does show up as well. The Lux is also here as well. We do try the W stuns if we're the Ekko. The root misses from the Xayah, and now we're just... We're 2-on-0, and you might think, well, it's not his fault. The Ekko's playing well. The Ekko's playing well. But as you can see, the Ekko is also the kind of person that doesn't push his advantage nearly as much as he should, and doesn't track either. They coin flip it. And when you coin flip like this, you will get fed in some games like the Ekko, and in other games you will get inaction like the Kha'Zix. In no games will you necessarily feed, but you're not necessarily doing the good things either, right? You are the reason... Sorry, you are not the reason you are going to lose this game. You're not the reason you're going to lose this game, but you're also not the reason you're going to win it, right? So you're just a person that takes place in a game of League of Legends. And, you know, we get kills here. This is just a Fiesta fight. I don't really... care much about this. The Victor's already coming online. The Akali doesn't have much to do. The Ekko wins bottom lane with a bottom lane meta clear. Kha'Zix doesn't reconcile that with the starting leashes. Ekko goes mid lane a bunch of times, sees the rotation from Akali, cuts it up, Eyes of Jungling instead of going back to base. And sure, his Grump is level 1. But does anyone here actually care about that right now? I do, because it bugs me a little bit, because I think, you know, we had the ability to go to the Glen directly, do this if we wanted, into this, and then kind of go, oh look, 5-10, we should have Kha'Zix potentially on his Raptors. Maybe I could go do a cheeky invade and yeet those away. And if the Kha'Zix did reset and go to the Krugs into the Raptors, the Kha'Zix is going to get you and have no Raptors, and now you would have used that to maybe help the Victor with his manaless self push and go back to base. So the Wolves would be level 1, and that I could tolerate, right? Because we have been bottom lane focused, and this is probably a bit of a window into the future. Definitely more of a skirmishy vibe from these junglers, but also at the same time, not really. It's odd, actually. It's quite odd. And now the Ekko again goes and looks for things, but this is a little bit, how we say, I don't know. I know the dragon is spawned, right? And we're gonna get the pick here, which is great, but I don't want to results base it either. If I know this is gonna be up, and I know Kha'Zix is going up, and I want to go take this, I'll just do the Krugs, loop in and snack it. Obviously, this is good wood though. Kha'Zix does actually get a kill onto the Cassandra here, recognizing the equal and opposite. So, I mean, eventually things will open up for you to breathe. All out, baby. We'll get a second Herald in exchange for the Dragon, except what we decide to do is say, huh, Karma shows up here. Maybe I should just go do some counter jungling. Hey, this is so season 9. This Grumping level 1 at 16 minutes, but at the same time, even the Canyon video when he was doing this sort of jungling, like just looking for the fight, looking for the fight, looking for the invade, looking for the fight, the invade is what helps because you get their camps too. But he would always fall back at some point to his quadrants. He would always take them leaving base on the way to something. That's something we have not done as the Ekko. So we will lose the mountain, which of course is not something you want to lose. Like that's 2 good dragons for Karma and the Cassandra. The whole team likes both of those dragons actually. So now we're going to go back to base, and what we have here is actually a huge lull. Mid-game lull, flashing out. Not much is going to happen, I think, from 17 minutes to 19 minutes. The next 2 minutes, we have 1 kill from Victor onto the Gwen. Let's have a look. Maybe it's here. Here we go. Gwen's like, hey, can I get involved? Good CSing from the Gwen, though, 153. And the Kha'Zix has maintained a decent CS, but I feel like that's more revealing for the Ekko than for the Kha'Zix. Zaya's bottom lane. Good old-fashioned ARAM. Yeah, she just goes too deep. She just goes too deep. We do not have the damage as the Kha'Zix, man. We forced the Ekko's ult, but didn't even have to use it. To be honest with you, there was no ISO damage. Okay, now nothing happens until 19 minutes. And once more, we have nothing happening. Okay, let's see. How do we win or lose this game? I don't know who's actually going to win or lose. I didn't pay attention. Just found a random replay, downloaded it, said this looks kind of interesting because both junglers had different approaches. We see we hit the plant here. This is an overcommit by the Cassandra. He gets the kill. Is it an overcommit or not? Ekko's in the bush here, or somewhere here. There he is, taking away our Krugs. The Grump actually got snacked away finally. There you go. Can we win this 3v2? That's the question. Kha'Zix is in a bit of a precarious spot. They actually say no. They're going to go ahead and we're going to Prowler's Claw in here. The Ekko W is such a good zoning tool, man. If he stays, he's dead, right? If he stays, he's dead. Ah, that excellent. The new charge meta doesn't take that. Again, so frustrating for people. You need to be able to actually get a few orders on that as well. But hey, that's great. Good hold. Karma's moving up, but Caitlyn says, fine, you guys do that. I'm going to push the mid lane. Gwen says, hey, look, can I get solo kills? Yes. Can I push a tower? We say, okay. We shadow this. Ekko says, okay, can I split push top lane as you go mid lane? Yes. Master Puppets, baby. Master Puppets. Next dragon's respawning. We basically want to go for a fight now. You know, the gold lead might feel like you're way further behind, but at the same time, with a 3rd dragon, you kind of want to force a fight. Can we get a pick with the Lux? Oh, no. 2 people. Okay, nothing. W from Ekko, that is down for a little bit now as well. Q chucked, avoid the slow, avoid the damage. Akali's on the backside there. Kha'Zix ults in here. We do actually get the binding damage. There we go. We're going to reposition onto the Ekko to try and force the ultimate. And of course, he melts us. The Ekko melts the Kha'Zix. Let's have a look to see if that actually gets anything going here. Kha'Zix is going on the top side. Gwen actually kills on the bottom side. The Ekko, no ultimate. Cassandra goes way too deep. Really bad positioning by the Cassandra there. That's not where you want to be. Like, you just went into their team. You just gave it to them. Gwen kills the jungler. You go way too deep. So basically, you've got Ekko going this way, Cassandra going this way, which leaves the rest of your team, the 3, just sitting still doing nothing. So they threw that rather than the red team doing a good job because the Kha'Zix just doesn't have damage. He just doesn't have damage. So good job to the Gwen to kill the Ekko on the bottom side. The Cassandra just goes costly. Very, very costly. That's how you lose a lot of games in the Zelo. We get the smite. Very nice. Now, of course, we can fall back to our camps. Let's double time this. Fall back to our Grump. Wolves. Raptors. We see the Ekko on the Baron Pit here. We know there's some damage. We haven't spent our gold here. We've got about 1,000 coming up. So we've passed away from our team. We're also not going back yet. We're going to go ahead and look. Maybe we can get another pick here, actually. Because the game's stalled out. There's no macro movement. There's no macro movement. They need to look for pressure. We have here also the Gwen killing the Caitlyn. So, excuse me. I'm looking at the map. I'm looking at the recording. The Gwen actually gets a kill snack. She just goes in. Right? Whew. Like, Sometimes you have to take matters into your own hand. That's exactly what you want to do. Kill the ADC. New meta. Next patch. Kill the ADC. King of the hill, except it's ADC of the hill. Now, good pick. The blue team really did not use their lead, which is why I was so strict on the Ekko in terms of maximizing experience, maximizing shoving, maximizing counter jungling. So you don't have the Kha'Zix at the same level as you. He should not be. He's 3-2-3. He hasn't done anything. He hasn't. Back to base, last whisper constructed. We have camp spawning on the red side here. Again, nothing happening. If you want to do this, we have no tower. They're playing safe. Just red Raptor's shadow. I mean, this isn't up anyway. But there's no real macro going on at all. It's gonna bust this game open. They're all just looking for a fight. So if you're in this kind of game, what the best advice I always have is sequence outside in. So everyone's mid lane. All right, let me go Krogs, Red Raptors if they're available. Hey, I need these camps. Go Gromp, Gromp Blue Wolves just because they're next to each other. It'd be silly to spaghetti it. But you could go Wolves, Gromp Blue, and then kind of loop back. But you want to be pathing towards where you need to be. If you have split push pressure, you could always look to do this, but then Baron's up, right? So you would ideally want to shove this out and then collapse inward, but only if you can win 1v1s and your champion allows it. Like if you're a super fit Diana, Kindred or whatever, shove this down, then you can always cut in. And if they send 2, you just kill them, right? So you got to know your power to kind of force the macro. If you're the Kha'Zix who just hasn't really done anything, you don't have the ability to force macro. You kind of have to just be with your team and play off of your team. So you need to be a bit more supportive in terms of your positioning, supportive, than kind of driving the macro force because you don't have the right amount of power or gold. So this is what you don't want either, right? Oh, if I split, I die. Well, then you fix your early to mid game. Let's have a look. Things are boiling. A root goes through. Ekko chucks W. Again, doesn't really hit. Gwen is now level 16. That's crucial. No one else in the game is even remotely close to 16. So Gwen is the carry right now. And if we win this game as a Kha'Zix, it's lucky. If we lose it, it's because the Ekko didn't fully push his experience and his gold amount. Again, the Caitlyn's just shit positioning. ADCs have such dog shit positioning all the time. Absolutely horrific. Why are you sitting in front of everyone else? Gwen goes and gets the kill, goes deep, the Kali doesn't dies, but does get the ignite proc and kill onto the victor, which is great. That's 2 kills now. That's 2 kills. Kali does die, but I mean, it's a 4v3. And Kassante's kind of low, and the Gwen is making plays. Caitlyn's making plays, not so much the Gwen. Why are you standing so far up front so that you can be assassinated? Now we're just looking, we're going to hit that W. If it's an ISO, it's a 90% slow as well. Remember on Kha'Zix, the Ekko goes backline here, forces a flash up from the Lux. Now goes onto the Xayah, who's going to use her ult to avoid any further damage, forces the Ekko to ult back into the fight. We have here the Gwen saying, well, if you're going to go that way, I'm going to kill your tank. We're going to use a stopwatch here to avoid it. Gwen takes the tower shot, uses a clutch stopwatch. The Kha'Zix actually goes in, gets his auto proc, and gets a smite kill, which is great. Now we can go Baron. Again, Ekko and Kassante's positioning is not good. Neither is I'm flaming the Caitlyn, but no one's positioning is good. Right, that's a Baron, that's a swing. That's an absolute swing. Unfortunately, we got the 3rd dragon, so this is not a soul point, but it's not really the most important soul in the world. Kha'Zix here. W for the checkings to see. Nice deep vision there to see from the blue trinket. Plant is hit, so we know people are here. Could be flanking from the top side as well. We're being a bit risky here, but at the same time, we're just looking to bust this game open. I think we know at this point, tendency-wise, that the Gwen can do good things. They're going deep here. Kha'Zix just basically face checks the Victor K'Sante. That's not the flank you want. Gwen is just like, can I go in? Gwen is immune. Yes, she can. Ekko's not going onto the Xayah again, but again, Xayah ultimate. And then ends up just getting absolutely rinsed. Yeah. So both junglers were members of this game in the end. And Xayah, excellent use of the ultimate. Obviously, as an assassin, you know you can't go on the Xayah like that when she has it. That should do it, no? Free Dragon, free Baron. Push this up. Yeah, both junglers didn't really have a good job of positioning teamfighting. Now, if you're interested in more teamfighting breakdown, the Fiddlesticks Gold coaching kind of did a good job of that, yeah. Ekko pushes up. Tries to go on the Xayah again. Kited. Very good route. We're just sprinting it because he's sprinting it, so we can sprint it. Kha'Zix decides, hey, I do damage. And I was like, do you though? Do you do damage? That's the worst thing as an assassin. K'Sante says, hey, let me do the ultings. And again, it's not where you want to be, and Gwen is just taking over this game. See that as a top laner, realizing that I made mistakes early, still getting her farm, rotating, making the beautiful picks onto the enemy ADC, and then just chasing down fights. Really well done. That should be game with the Baron. So, there you go. Tracking, absolutely fundamental to junglers winning these kinds of games. You have to be able to reconcile the meta with what junglers want to do. You have to get in their mind in this elo, and you have to do it consistently. But as you can see, with the Ekko and with the Kha'Zix, both lacked a certain, self-awareness, but also an awareness of the enemy jungler. And the one who sort of brings that together and does it so consistently will easily get mastered here. Thank you very much for watching. Go check out the site virkayu.gg for your classes, guides, and courses coming up very soon. The improvement PDF, huge thing, like 25 pages should be, or 30 pages even, should be coming out hopefully tomorrow once I finish preparing it. And as always, I will see you all in the next coaching.